On April 7th, 2026, Anthropic announced their most powerful AI model ever built. Then they told the world it could not have it, no waitlist, no phased rollout, no API access, just a flat refusal. That model is called Claude Mythos. And what it can do is why governments, banks, and the entire cybersecurity industry are currently in emergence. Claude Mythos Preview is a general-purpose AI model. It was not specifically built as a hacking tool, but during testing, something unexpected happened. Anthropic ran Mythos against the world's most widely deployed software, every major operating system, every major web browser, critical infrastructure used by governments, hospitals, and banks worldwide. In a matter of weeks, Mythos autonomously found thousands of zero-day vulnerabilities, flaws that had survived years of human review and millions of automated security tests. Three examples from Anthropic's own documentation: a 27-year-old vulnerability in OpenBSD, one of the most security-hardened operating systems in existence, used to run firewalls in critical infrastructure worldwide. Mythos found it, entirely on its own. A flaw in a major web browser that allowed an attacker to remotely execute code on any machine simply by visiting a web page. A vulnerability in the Linux kernel with a proof-of-concept exploit that Mythos developed without any human guidance. These capabilities were not engineered. They emerged as a side effect of the model becoming extremely good at coding, reasoning, and working autonomously. The numbers tell the same story. 93.9% on SWE Bench Verified, the standard benchmark for autonomous software engineering. Anthropic's previous best model, Claude Opus 4.6, scored 80.8%, 97.6% on USAMO 2026, a mathematics Olympiad benchmark. Opus 4.6 scored 42.3%, 83.1% on CyberGym, Anthropic's own cybersecurity benchmark. Opus 4.6 scored 66.6%. Those are not marginal improvements. Across coding, mathematics, and cybersecurity, Mythos is operating in a different category to anything that came before it. Historically, finding a critical zero-day vulnerability in a major operating system took months of work by highly skilled researchers. With Claude Mythos, the same work takes minutes and costs around $20 in compute. That is what changed the calculation for Anthropic. If they release Mythos publicly, the same capabilities available to defenders would immediately be available to attackers, nation-states, criminal organizations, anyone with a subscription. So instead of a public launch, Anthropic created Project Glasswing, a closed consortium of organizations giving controlled access to Mythos specifically to find and patch vulnerabilities before they can be exploited. Partners include Microsoft, Google, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, JP Chase, Cisco, CrowdStrike, and the Linux Foundation. The goal is to use Mythos to harden the internet before the model, or something like it, ends up in the wrong hands. The response has been immediate and significant. The Federal Reserve Chair and the US Treasury Secretary summoned major bank CEOs to an emergency meeting to brief them on the cybersecurity implications. The British government and banking sector are reportedly scrambling to assess their exposure. Cybersecurity stocks have taken serious hits. CrowdStrike dropped 11% despite being a Project Glasswing partner. The market's fear is that even the best defense platforms cannot keep pace with what Mythos can generate. At the same time, some researchers are pushing back. Yann LeCun, Meta's chief AI researcher, has been reposting claims that the threat is overstated. Others have noted that Anthropic controls all access to the model, meaning no independent verification of their claims is currently possible. Both things can be true. The capabilities may be real, and the framing may still be overstated. Right now, Mythos is locked behind Project Glasswing. Anthropic has not announced a public release date. They have not confirmed whether a public version will ever exist. What they have said is that this is a preview, which implies a full version is coming. When that happens, the capabilities available today to a closed group of vetted organizations will be accessible to anyone. That is either the most important advance in defensive cybersecurity in history, or the starting gun on an era of AI-powered attacks that the current internet is not built to survive. Probably both. Anthropic built the most capable AI model ever publicly documented, then decided the world was not ready for it. Whether you find that reassuring or terrifying probably depends on how much you trust one private company to make that call on behalf of everyone. That is where we are on April 14th, 2026.